What is the magician's jewel? Well, during these years I made different photocollage art pieces. You see here, there was a beautiful moment in time when I realized that all 8 photocollage art pictures of mine were components of a larger machine. And then it went boom, 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 and was born the magician's jewel. So what do we have here? We have a structure containing sacred geometry. We have nested platonic solids. By virtue of the mirror, we have octahedron, tetrahedron, cube, icosahedron, dodecahedron, but then inside this little matchstick dodecahedron, we have another icosahedron, and an embedded cube, and an embedded tetrahedron, and an embedded octahedron. Tiny, tiny made out of matchsticks inside here. So we can see we've got nested platonic solids, 9 movements, with the dodecahedron at the center being the space.
The geometry is great.
We don't have a device yet, we just have a model which is describing what the Tibetan Book of the Dead aspect looks like. This is something the participants walk on, enter into the chambers, climb up this spiral. This spiral reaches the base. Obviously for travel purposes I can't have the spiral coming to base, I can't carry it. So this in height I envisage as around 90 feet.
Whoa.
Participants enter into a park.
Oh, okay, so that's the park.
First of all, you enter into the park-like structure. Here we have our bliss worlds. 16 of them according to the highest tantric yogas of Tibetan Buddhism. Bliss worlds. Whirling worlds.
Oh, bliss world. She's a Tibetan initiate.
So the 16th and highest level is pure bliss, which is enlightenment. So we go from pure depression, death, to pure enlightenment, which is full existence. So participants will enter into the park. As you can see here, we've got octaves of harmonic resonance, which are built into the park as stones, rocks, flower beds. When you enter into the park, you are entering into the bardo of life, because this is where we are today. We are living, we are in the bardo of life. Now we're going to enter into the structure at one side of the base here, so let's say it's this side, and we're going to go underneath the mirror into a chamber to experience the bardo of sleep. Now, at this point, we have already donned binaural headphones, and we're being instructed about the bardo todo, what it is, the process of life, all these things that are going on here, the octaves of harmonic resonance, the bliss worlds, etc., etc. When we go underneath into the chamber and enter into the next stage, the bardo of sleep, we're going to learn all about lucid dreaming.
Oh, wonderful.
Inside a chamber underneath the mirror.
Nice.
Before you go into the bardo of sleep, you're going to come into a sort of turning wheel-like shape here, which moves you through turnstiles and makes you do the Hopi style dance, which creates, of course, a scalar wave. So the participants and the people are themselves creating the movements that are creating some sort of vortex. Not only that, there are turnstile points that when they click, click, click through the turnstiles, these will move and will strike the lowest crystal. These are 4 crystals here. You know, we're talking shungite, we're talking quartz, we're talking, you know, whatever has the properties to amplify and to give the energy. Striking the crystal will create piezoelectricity, will amplify up here to this dodecahedron, which is having, of course, the pentagon at base, pentagon at top. Now we come up the spiral. You've come out of the bardo of sleep, you've learnt about lucid dreaming, you climb up the huge travelator. Remember, this is 90 feet tall, 80 feet, 90 feet, it's big. You travel up the travelator to the top, where here is a chamber, an Om chamber, sounding 1 octave of harmonic resonance in tones, reciting Om. Now the sound strikes the top crystal, kicks in the piezoelectricity, do, amplify, carry. You know, we use all these kinds of different crystals to have the properties to carry and amplify the energy down to the pentagon at the top of the icosahedron, and here, implosion.
Yeah. radiates out the longitudinal perpendicular to
The sound wave that hits the crystal, we know exactly the harmonic series, we know the exact spectrum analysis of the crystal. So we know how to hit the crystal with the right phase country pump wave phonon to implode the longitudinal. So we could, do the electrical engineering of this clearly. Which, actually starts with the spectrum analysis of the weak capacitive field of every part of this so that it implodes together. And that you could experience with the Flame in Mind life force demo. In other words, in the center of that structure, the capacitance we can measure is just like the perfect tree, except even better. So we know how to do. So maybe you could just show her a little bit about how we would measure the life force in the center of that.
I didn't want to tell you the device mechanics first. I wanted to walk you through the process of the Bardo Todo first. We've gone onto the structure. We've done our movements around to cause the movements of this structure down here to strike the first crystal. But now we're going underneath the structure to talk about and to learn about, through our binaural headphones, lucid dreaming. Having done that, we come up 12 layers, spirals to a 13th, the Om chamber, where we enter the Bardo of meditation. We listen to 8 tones, 1 octave of harmonic resonance of Om, which is also striking the crystal and bringing the amplify through the crystals to here. We now come down a sort of lift-like structure, could be working like a magnetic pulley or something, but somehow we get down to here where we enter a black Fibonacci spiral, which is the Bardo of Dying. But before we enter the Bardo of Dying, we don a headset and augmented reality glasses. All of these are octaves of harmonic resonance. We've walked through the 7 steps of the Bardo of Dying, seeing in front of us, according to the quality of our frequency of our brain waves, we see the images corresponding to the sort of quality of brain waves that we are emitting. So 7 steps down to the top of the dodecahedron, where we enter into the 8th step, the end of 1 octave, the beginning of the next octave, the Bardo of Reality. Now, this is by far the longest and most complicated part of the Bardo Todo, where, first of all, we meet our essential state, pure light. But because we are not habituated to this awesome, magnificent quality, what we really want to do is just run away from it and get back to what we do know, which is this tangible material reality. Of course, there are, again, instructions going on here, but now our augmented reality glasses switch to virtual reality. And here we are going to be able to move at will throughout the entire structure as we want to. So we're sitting in a chamber now inside the Bardo of Reality at the heart of this machine, and also bathing in the perfect phase conjugation in the center, which is mending us from top to toe. And we're now in the essential state of reality, experiencing through virtual reality. Again, as we perceive, so we get the quality result. Now we can move to anywhere, we can be in different spaces in this installation. Having finished our experience inside the heart of the machine, we now come out through a white Fibonacci spiral, which is the Bardo of Becoming. Again, 7 steps. Now you're going to add on the layers of materiality and consciousness, and you're going to take on another body. This is now switching back to augmented reality. And as by the quality of frequency of your brainwaves, so you are going to take on the sort of body that you are matching. 7 steps, 8th step, back to the park and the Bardo of Life. But this time you have changed, because you've been through the process of dying and being reborn, and you've had these instructions through the binaural headsets. This is like the elevator pitch. The full project report is like already almost 100 pages.
But what I admire the most is the enthusiasm. If this was done right, these materials would be the right dielectric.
Exactly.
They would all add to the capacity.
Of course, that's what we need to discuss. Yeah. What materials, what's the angle here?
Would be only proven after you spectrum analyze the weak field effect generator. There would probably be a lot of hemp, a lot of piezo, like quartz powder would be fabulous for like on here and all these things to make it both piezo and implosive. So it's, you know, the bardo for electrical engineers. I like it.
Where do you think I should start?
Well, I think you should build like even a shape like this and learn how to tune it. One simple pyramid.
That's my prototype, you mean?
Yeah, just start with one simple pyramid.
Small, this size.
And learn how to tune that.
What is the shape of your pyramid?
The Russian pyramid at 72.
The Russian pyramid is perfect
Yeah.
to start.
Okay.
Because if you place a sphere inside the Russian pyramid, each sphere above the previous one is in golden ratio. Wood is very good also to make pyramids.
I just did a workshop in Mountain View, California, and we decided that because it's so complicated and there are so many little parts, we would need to prototype section by section.
But I think Dan is right. You should start with the first pyramid and then make the different parts include step by step inside.
As a prototype.
Also, what is very important is the orientation of the pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
And because, well, that's my experience with copper pyramid. It's not as it's empty, so the face are empty of material. They're only the corner of the pyramid, and in this case you have to rotate it in a different orientation than the pyramids, which are oriented to north, south, and east and west. You have to orient it, this part to north.
Instead of the face, you mean the corner angles?
Yeah, the corner angle should be oriented to
Cardinal
north.
directions.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about the EEG headset and the translation into augmented reality, virtual reality? Obviously, cinematographic work is one thing, but the mechanics of it is another. Can we translate the EEG into an augmented reality process?
Yes, it's possible to create an
Yes,
app
yes.
which you can transfer the brainwave to music, to colors, to shape, to a lot of possibilities. But I never tried it, so.
Mm-hmm.
And also, as Dan said, it's possible to measure the frequency generated by a place or a room.
How to measure the exact frequency of the place and the room?
It's Schumann frequency cascade.
Yeah.
If you're fit close to Schumann frequency cascade, you're in an healthy place. If the frequency which are coming are different,
Then they're not.
it's shift, so it's not.
What about the crystals?
The shape is very important.
Well, I'm telling you, this crystal thing is the thing that worries me the most, because there are certain points in a pyramid which are very alive. And when you put a wrong crystal in the place which is very alive,
Destroy everything.
you would hold this and it would throw me
Yes, I
to the other side of the room. So we
I
don't want
know.
to mess around with crystals.